thing that people get into with seeking external validation.
Yeah.
It's because they tie their self-worth to things that society thinks are valuable.
Yeah.
So you've literally hit the nail on the head, I think. The first one being your job.
Yeah.
Second is probably your income. Others might be sort of what kind of partner you have, relationship partner you have.
Yeah.
Others might be sort of what assets you have, things like where do you live, what cars you have, what memberships you have, those kind of things.
I actually encourage a lot of people to drop down the ladder and just pick anything that can prove yourself useful.
I agree. You probably advise people in your consultancy similarly. Yeah.
Blue collar work is absolutely fine. Using your hands as part of your work is absolutely fine. The key is to be able to handle the task, do it well, and basically prove yourself useful. In workplace.
And then you can do it.
That gives you genuine satisfaction.
Welcome, everybody. This is episode 7 of Bar Talk.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about external validation.
Yeah. So how people view you.
How view you. And we'll have a look at internal validation and versus external validation.
So I launched a course on life philosophy a few months ago. And it is a topic that I touch upon.
Yes.
But I suppose we should first define what external validation really means.
Yep. So I think we understand validation to mean how you view yourself and what you need to make yourself sort of feel good.
Approval, right?
Approval, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we understand by
acceptance. But it's more than acceptance. It's basically praise.
It's praise, yeah. And that's why it can come from external sources, like your family or your friends or your loved ones or your boss at work. And it can also come from inside, which is the internal validation. So that's about how you feel about yourself.
Upbringing affects internal validation a lot, doesn't it?
Definitely.
If your parents kept praising you when you were young, you tend to have more internal validation.
Yep.
But if your parents scolded you a lot or disapproved your behavior and you in general, then you tend to have lower self-esteem.
Yes.
Because as a child, you tend not to be able to, have critical thinking, and you tend to think that if your parents disapprove you, it's your problem, not theirs.
Yep.
So yeah, upbringing is a big issue. I think one of the reasons why I have rather good self-confidence is because my parents used to, praise me a lot for everything, really. I don't know if it was intentional, but my mom in particular generally praised me in every aspect, even though I don't actually think that, objectively speaking, I possess any exceptional qualities. I think my most exceptional quality is this sense of self-belief, which I thank my mom for having.
And that's definitely part of the internal validation side of things.
Yeah.
I think you're right that a lot of people who seek external validation later in life,
it's because of a lack of internal.
Often it's because of a lack of internal validation, which comes from a lot of the time, but not always, obviously, an absence of this during their childhood growing up.
Is it right to say that if you have a lot of internal validation, you wouldn't bother as much to seek it from the outside?
Definitely.
That's how I feel.
Yes. A lot of the time it's because people struggle to give themselves self-validation, internal validation, that they seek the validation of others externally.
Yeah.
Whether that be from their peers or social media or things like that.
You can't control external validation, can you? I mean, to a large extent, you can't.
No, a lot of the times you can't. But I think the problem that some people seem to be having in this day and age is they actively chase external validation.
Social media has worsened it, for sure.
For sure, yeah. I think that's why this is a particularly interesting topic in the last few recent years of the rise of, obviously, social media.
Yeah, but the root cause is the same.
It's the same. And actually, human nature is to seek validation. Even, we're talking hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, because
you needed it to survive.
You needed to survive, exactly. Validation is actually, like you said just now, it's about being liked, being approved.
Yeah.
And actually, it's more of a instinctive thing.
Yeah.
Because in the past, if you weren't part of a group of people, you wouldn't survive. It was harder to survive.
Yeah.
If you think back to the medieval times.
Yeah, but then it's a survival mode thing. In the sense that you needed it to survive. So in terms of evolutionary biology, it made sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Your ancestors were the ones who were able to be externally approved.
Yep.
So that they were able to make themselves useful in
Society.
primitive society.
Yep, exactly.
And they were able to exchange goods and services essentially with other members of
and they
the
had
community.
standing and services. They were
So that was sort of, that became a part of our DNA.
Yes.
But what I argue is that that's a survival bit. That's the evolutionary bit. But nowadays we don't have this issue.
No, nowadays it doesn't have to. It's not a need.
No, you won't die, for example.
No, you won't.
If you're not validated.
No, but people now chase
um,
it for different reasons.
Yeah, but this primal instinct still exists.
Yes.
Maybe
Maybe that's why actually, even though a lot of times now people seem to blame social media for driving that external validation.
Yeah.
It is probably partially true. I don't know the statistics.
They might have magnified it.
They might have magnified it, but actually inherently,
that's not a cause, right?
No, yeah, because inherently it seems to be actually it's a human nature element.
But it seems to have become rather critical for a lot of people in modern society.
Yes.
I get a lot of inquiries on issues that they deal with that's really just to do with external validation in their career, in the family, in the relationship, in society in general.
Yes.
They really need it. They really crave it. Why do you think that is?
I think that it's, well, mainly it's probably to do with the lack of self-belief. But I think also you just sort of touched on it there. People seek validation in their professional life.
Yeah.
With things like work and finances, all of that, and also in their personal life.
You do seem to have to seek it though, as a barrister, Seb. Don't you think? It's
inevitably
one of those careers where how you're viewed by your peers, and solicitors, your counterparts, is particularly important.
Inevitably so, yes,
right?
Yes,
because your seniors wouldn't work with you if you're not externally validated.
Yes,
it's quite forced to play this game.
Yep, it's interesting. I think that we need external validation, like you said, because we need to be acknowledged by solicitors to be good at our work, knowledgeable about particular practice areas, professional. Same for other barristers who we work with. But at the same time, we obviously we can't let it be too. We can't let it affect us too much, and we need to have internal validation in order to back ourselves to have the skills to perform. So it's a delicate balancing act between the two.
Is that part of the reason why there are such strict restrictions on promotion?
Perhaps,
in a way,
perhaps,
because it seems that, you know, I'm an outsider now, but looking at it, I think it's a way of ensuring that you are only validated based on your objective ability.
Yes.
So that's not external validation in a sense.
No, it's a bit of a slightly different thing.
Because peers tend to think that one's advocacy skills, one's ability in general as a practitioner can be assessed through your work.
Yes.
Now that's not external validation in a sense.
No.
Is it? It's because it's
no, it's slightly more subtle.
Yeah, it's more objectively quantified.
Yeah. I think external validation would be, in the barrister example that we've sort of started with here, would be something like, I would define my worth as a barrister by what another barrister or a solicitor views me as.
Yeah.
So if barrister A told me I'm good, I would think I'm good.
Yeah.
And then if solicitor B told me I'm bad, I would then think I'm bad. That is, in a very oversimplified way of looking at it, what external validation is. But if solicitor A told you that you were bad and barrister A told you were good, and you were able to form some sort of, you were able to take into account what they've said and form a little bit of a view on it without it defining yourself, that is probably the right sort of balance that one should aim for, I think.
Because I also think that, take your industry as an example, you can't completely take away external validation, because then how to assess?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, you know, the modern sort of view is that there's an overemphasis on external validation and people don't focus enough internally. But again, in this barrister example, for example, if I was a barrister who had 100% internal validation conviction, so basically I thought I was the best barrister in the world, and I had I placed zero weight on external validation, and I didn't care what anybody else thought. Like you pointed out, that would be useless because I would just be sitting in a room by myself thinking that I was the best, whilst everybody else thought you might be rubbish. So that's obviously not good. So you need some external validation as well. For sure.
I understand that. But one of my key ideas, and I want to address the elephant in the room because it's a very strong view of mine. It's been one of my main ideas when it comes to what I really want to contribute to Hong Kong society, which is this: that for all the stuff I do as part of my online marketing, I've always been one, and those who know me, including you yourself, know that I can't care external validation less. In the sense that what I've always chased, if you want to put it negatively, is attention. I put it positively, and it's influence. I've always believed in getting more influence. And I call it real power nowadays, so that you can present your agenda and really influence people in the way you want. And in my opinion, of course, in a positive way.
Yes.
In that sense, I am all for external validation, although it's not really validation. It's just external influence.
Yes.
I think it's natural for human beings to want to have influence.
Definitely.
Because you want to be useful in a sense. And to be useful is to have an influence on others, right? And I think it's only right if you have, the more ability you have, more influence you should try and achieve. Because you're good, basically, you're good for society.
Society, yes.
So in that sense, I'm all for it. But I think chasing influence is something that you can control.
Yes.
I mean, you can do a lot of, online marketing, offline marketing as well. But external validation is not something under
external
control.
validation and influence are two very different concepts.
Yeah.
I think when we say it's bad to chase external validation, we're thinking more in terms of, for example, simplistically social media. So for example, if I post a picture online and I validate myself by how many likes I get on it or how many followers I have on social media platforms, that kind of external validation is the bad, perhaps not bad might not be the right word, perhaps it's a negative way of looking at it. But that's very different from influence. There's different concepts.
And I've always chased influence. The funny thing is, a lot of my haters say that, Joe is just an attention seeker. He just wants to get attention. I'll admit it to the extent that attention is the prerequisite for you to have influence. And to achieve influence, I do think that getting attention is a must.
Yes.
But I think what people misunderstand in terms of my game is that they think that I want attention for attention's sake.
I see. Yes.
So I see attention as an end. I see attention as a means to an end. The end is to have good, positive influence
on others.
To spread my agenda. And
to do things like this.
And
to do things like this and to have people tune in and listen.
Yes. And what we do here is strictly for helping people positively to critically think.
Share
We're not even
experiences.
asking people to mindlessly agree to what we preach here. We don't preach anything, but we present arguments, really. But I do think that a lot of people misunderstand.
Yes. And people probably misunderstand you as somebody who's obviously got a very big online social media presence. Some people who perhaps don't know you so well or understand you might think you would be the kind of person that validates themselves based on social media.
Yeah.
So, for example, they might think if you post a video and it only gets 100 views, you're going to be very depressed that day. Whilst if you post a video and it goes viral and you've got 1 million views, you're going to be over the moon. But to you probably couldn't care less, right? Exactly.
All my friends who are in marketing know that right away, because I simply don't hide my like counts at all.
Oh, yes, that's true.
So a lot of people who really
nowadays,
they do that by hiding their views and like counts.
Yep, I've noticed that's a new thing that a lot of people are doing on Instagram.
I've never bothered to do that at all. And I positively enjoy posts which get few likes. Because that's exactly telling myself and others that it's not what I'm here for. But I've said it before and I'll repeat it. What we are doing now is, in my opinion, my stage 2. My stage 1 was to achieve attention.
Yep.
That was a means.
Not an end.
This is not the end either, in the sense that this is me doing what I'm supposed to be doing in stage 2.
Yes.
But yet again, what I'm doing here isn't about external validation.
No.
But external influence.
Yep.
Yeah. I want that. I think it's good that good people want that. I'm, in a sense, public spirited.
Yes.
That's the chief thing I like about public schools, by the way, a theme that we've touched on every episode. I mean, I do have this romantic idea coming from having attended public schools, which rose to international prominence in the Victorian period.
Yep.
It was at its peak during Winston Churchill's time, for example.
Yep,
I'm that old-fashioned. I still think that if you have the ability to do it, you should go into public service. You should be helping society. I just think, though,
agreed.
It doesn't have to be achieving public office. For all the talk that I talk about wanting to be chief executive, it's a general concept.
I agree. I think a lot of us, who went to these sort of public schools, in different ways, we all interpreted that sense of public spirit differently, but we all interested in...
Old French, right? Nobody's obliged.
Nobody's obliged, exactly.
Yeah, you
to give back.
better than me,
No, for sure. I mean, like for you like to sort of give back by sharing views on things and hoping to broaden people's minds.
It's not necessarily political.
No, not...
It's actually just wanting to help people to live better.
Yeah. For sure. And then for me, I mean, in my limited capacity at the moment, but I try to give back whenever possible by taking, for example, students who want to
doing
experience...
great work as
and
a barrister,
and doing
upholding rule of law,
and doing, duty lawyer and other sort of semi-pro bono cases.
Member of that esteemed community,
and giving back to students who, sometimes I get messages or, who ask me, can I follow you, do some shadowing, or I have questions about the law. Of course, I always want to help back like that as well, which is a different way. We've all got different ideas of how to do it, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you think you can help, and that gives you a real feeling of being helpful.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing now, for example, in my one-to-one consultancy, in my life philosophy course, and in this, I feel it, and it feels good. It really isn't about making money, although I do make money.
Of course.
It's just about the sort of impact that I think I'm making. But I'm not after validation, after approval.
And this is exactly the key difference between external and internal validation. So all the things that we've just mentioned, we do it because we want to do it. And we feel good about doing it, and we see a purpose in doing it. But we don't do it because we want others to validate that action, whether it's be monetarily by paying you for it, for example, or by like count or popularity. We do it because we see the intrinsic value in the thing. That is the internal part.
Yeah, I mean, I do post my clients and my students praising me for my work. Onto my Instagram. And I suppose some people would think that it's me bragging external validation.
I see. Yeah.
It's not. I really can't care less about both praise and disapproval. My validation comes from myself.
Yes.
I put it online just to let others know that what I do can be helpful, and maybe I can help you too. That's all.
Yeah.
I think people who chase external validation will find out eventually that no external validation can replace internal validation.
No, for sure. For sure. And people often ask, how does one block out the need for external validation and become better at internal validation?
Yeah.
That's a question.
You just need to approve yourself enough.
Yep.
And then you'll be fine. But that brings us to a very interesting question. How?
Exactly. How?
So let's say my upbringing caused me to lack internal validation. What can I do as a grown adult?
Yeah. I mean, the ones that I read about and see people talk about the most very often is, it sounds very cliche, I would say, but I think these are very valid still.
Yeah.
And it's to do things like set yourself small and realistic goals,
Right.
Whether it's personally or professionally. And then if you set yourself a small realistic goal, you don't have to tell anyone about it.
Yeah.
It's for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you achieve that without realizing,
Yeah.
you will have validated yourself.
Yeah.
And it can be something tiny, you know. It could be,
I like that.
it could, in a work sense, for a lot of people I think who are watching this, who might be in companies with sale targets or KPIs to meet.
Yeah.
Your company will set you some ridiculous target to meet, which you might not be able to, but set yourself one perhaps that's realistic.
Yeah.
And then if you hit that this month, the next month, you know, you add 1% to it, something like that, or 2%, or whatever it might be. That could be one way to do it. Or in your personal life as well, you know, if you're somebody that is very bad with timing, you're always late with your friends, you're very tardy, then you set yourself a little goal, which will be, you know, this week, when I'm meeting my friends for dinner, for lunch, when I'm meeting my family, I'll make sure I'm always on time for a week and see if I can achieve that. And then you'll start to feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
I think things like that. Small goals.
Small win.
Small win.
I actually encourage a lot of people to drop down the ladder and just pick anything that can prove yourself useful.
I agree. You probably advise people in your consultancy similarly. Yeah.
Blue collar work is absolutely fine. Using your hands as part of your work is absolutely fine.
Yep.
The key is to be able to handle the task, do it well, and basically prove yourself useful.
Prove yourself useful
in workplace,
and then you can do it.
That gives you genuine satisfaction. That's one.
And then with the satisfaction will come the belief.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to build a track record.
Yeah.
Eventually,
of course, eventually, yeah.
Of you know, continued successes.
Yes,
but they only need to be small successes.
And once you have a small one, another small one, and another small one, I think before you know it, you will have set yourself like a small medium goal, and then you'll just be building blocks up from there. That's the idea, I think.
Yeah, I do think that over the years, I'm now 36. I've become increasingly confident. And calm, confidence, inner confidence,
yeah.
Because of my track record, basically.
Yes, agreed.
I think over the years I've just achieved.
Yes.
Whether through failures or successes, I just know that I've survived.
Yep, agreed.
I've been through all that.
Yes.
Accumulated a lot of useful experience, and so I do tend to confirm my sort of place in the world.
Yep, agreed.
You want that.
Agreed. Even in my personal experience as a barrister, I remember in the first in the first couple of years, obviously you felt that you had the legal knowledge and the skills, but you perhaps lacked a lot of experience because you simply hadn't been in court enough, or you hadn't met enough clients.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know when I would have that sort of mentality shift and believe I could do it. And then before you know it, like another couple of years in, maybe like 3 or 4 years in, you start to realize, oh, actually, I've done a few cases on these things.
Yeah.
I've written advices. I've met enough clients that I'm not worried, because you've got that experience that backs, that the experience supports yourself in the belief that you can do it.
So even when you tackle an area of law that you haven't touched upon in the past, you would have this belief that you can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you've been doing the same over the years.
Exactly. I had my first commercial high court trial, which lasted 7 days, doing it by myself 2 years ago, so in 2024.
Right.
So I was only 4 years in at the time.
Yeah.
So for somebody who's 4 years in to do a case like that is it's quite difficult. It should be difficult.
Yeah.
And when I got given the case, it was a year before, so I was only 3 years in. I remember at that time thinking, wow, in a year's time, I actually don't know whether I'll be ready and feel very comfortable. But then when it came to it, I didn't feel worried at all because I realized that, oh, actually, I've done a lot of magistrates court trials. I've done district court trials. I've done
principles are the same.
The principles are the same. I've done other things in the High Court. I've done appeals. I've done interlocutory applications. It's not different. And you just have to put yourself in the position through the small wins that whether you set themselves as goals or they just happen in your life, that when you come to, like you said, the slightly more difficult things, you'll realize that actually you've got the tools that you need to do it.
And actually, to go back to a favorite theme of ours, public school education should have prepared you for that.
And also and to take on the unknown and the challenges.
Yeah.
And also to do what you can.
Yeah. The entire point of public school education is to prepare you for the unknown, to make yourself comfortable.
Yeah, taking on the unknown
when you're dealing with something that you know very little about.
Yes.
I mean, one of my intellectual heroes, Bertrand Russell, hated it. He thought that the public school system is extremely flawed in that it wasn't preparing students to become intellectual. It was preparing students to wing it. And to be able to fake it.
Well, I think anybody who went to a public school will definitely share the view that we were definitely taught, whether directly as part of the school's sort of ethos or indirectly, it was to essentially wing it at times.
I think it's very much indirect.
No
teacher
school
would publicly express it, but the the underlying culture was very much prevalent.
Yes.
And you were all taught to, sound, look confident, even though you don't know your stuff and haven't done your homework.
Yes.
I mean, it's even more important than knowing the stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Really. It's,
for sure.
It's about,
for sure,
presenting yourself that way.
Yeah. I think one of the things you said just now actually is really interesting, how you said that a lot of people who are used to working in sort of the professional jobs and then who maybe don't have such a good time in it and their self-esteem takes a bit of a hit. And you said sometimes they should drop down the ladder. I think that's a very good piece of advice. Another common theme that we like to talk about is football. And we know so many stories of players who were branded as sort of prodigies when they were younger. And then they hit a bit of a wall. And then they go one of two ways, right? Either they stay at that stage and then they drift off and we never hear about this player again. Or sometimes they drop down a league, they go on loan somewhere, they go to another country, and then they rebuild themselves. Like even Harry Kane, right? The most famous English striker.
Went on a dozen loans.
Went on a dozen loans to Norwich City and Millwall, and then he scored a bunch of goals. And then he came back to the Premier League with Spurs and then realised, I'm actually quite good. And he's spoken openly about how he had that wall and he started to self-doubt himself.
I think it's very important for you to create your role in the world. Just carve it out. Make it special. I like the football theme. I made myself so-called Hong Kong Inzaghi. Because I know my limit. As a natural football player, my footballing skills aren't great, but I want to make myself useful to help my team. How best to do it? By being the poacher. Just be in the right place in the right time so you won't miss it. That's it.
And if you find your role, finding your role will mean that you can probably do it better than trying to fulfill a role that you're not suited to.
If you want to be a Messi, a number 10,
yeah,
I'd be massively disappointed in myself and I wouldn't be of any use.
Yep.
But if I put myself in a poacher position, then I'll be useful.
Yeah.
No matter the amount of work that I have to do in the team, but I have a role for myself.
Yes.
And you would validate yourself.
And then you validate yourself, exactly. And then you won't be chasing other people's...
External validation might come as a bonus.
Yep.
The key is to know that you are the poacher and to confirm that for yourself.
Yes.
That's the important thing. If you seek, for me, for example, to take another example, if I want external validation as a barrister, I think I'd do pretty badly. I don't think intellectually I'm not good enough. I'm saying that in terms of my personality, I would be a useless barrister. But in defining myself in this current position that I'm in,
Yep.
I validate myself.
Yep.
I think I'm useful. And
do you think if you were a barrister, you'd feel a bit of imposter syndrome at times?
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is another interesting kind of theme that people talk about in terms of validation, is imposter syndrome idea.
If I were still at the bar, for example, one thing that I definitely would have told myself to turn to was criminal law. It's a bit like the poacher analogy, football analogy, in that I didn't like preparation. I didn't like paperwork. I didn't like research.
Yep.
I'll be very honest about it. I can do it.
Yes, of course.
I was very well trained by my pupil masters to do it. But in terms of my instinct, in terms of my nature, I hate it. So I'm much better at being spontaneous.
Yeah, working with facts on the spot, sort of storytelling off the cuff. Yeah.
Criminal law would be so much more fun. Yeah. But I had this snobbery back then, you know. At the time, I mean, this is over 10 years ago, I being an Oxford graduate, not in law, I never wanted to be a lawyer, but still an Oxford graduate with a scholarship from Bar Association. I was sort of taught that, you know, criminal law wouldn't be for you.
Because civil law, commercial law are sort of the
But
elite.
it's stupid.
Yes. So if you did the sort of civil law route, that's where you might have felt the imposter syndrome, because you would have had to have pretended to have really enjoyed reading into the law and textbooks and doing research, whilst that really wouldn't have been your thing. So you would have had to fake that side of it.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
And that's the kind of imposter syndrome I think that people are talking about sometimes.
Yeah, but no. Even if I were a criminal barrister, I still wouldn't be as good as what I'm doing now.
For sure.
And that's the key.
Yep.
If I was to seek sort of external validation, probably I should have stayed in the bar and, you know, sought the validation of people in the legal industry
and also society
in general,
because
right?
It's a so-called reputable profession.
Yeah, but no, I hated it from the first minute. I think I used to go to, you know, posh places, and because I made a name as soon as I became barrister, almost at the same time. And people used to address me as Lam Dai Zhang,
right?
Barrister Lam, at public places. I didn't like it.
Yes.
Right from the beginning.
It's also a very Chinese kind of thing.
I didn't like it because I think that people were defining me or approving me because of my title.
Yes, exactly.
I don't like that because...
No. But you see that a lot. You're right. Actually, in restaurants in Hong Kong or places, people always call you like it's like, you know, Leung Dai Si or Leung Yi Sang or whatever, things like that.
But the problem with that is that they're at the same time telling you that take away your title, you're nothing.
Exactly.
That to me is bad because my title, my professional status can be taken away.
Yep, anytime.
But I can't be defined by something external.
No.
You take that away, then I become nothing. Then this is not very secure, is it?
No. And that, I think this is the key trap I think that people get into with seeking external validation.
Yeah.
It's because they tie their self-worth to things that society thinks are valuable. Yeah. So you've literally hit the nail on the head, I think. The first one being your job.
Yeah.
Second is probably your income. Others might be sort of what kind of partner you have, relationship partner you have. Others might be sort of what assets you have, things like where do you live, what cars you have, what memberships you have, those kind of things.
Well, by the way, we are pretty bad. I mean, certain members of the audience will accuse us of being hypocrites here.
Probably.
In the sense that we live on mid-levels, we were educated abroad and we had a good education.
Yes.
Probably
good jobs.
We are comparatively, you know, well off.
Yeah.
We enjoy certain social status. You know, people are going to accuse us of you know, having no right to say this.
Yes.
But I do mean it. I do think that you can take away a lot of external things that we haven't enjoyed, and we'd still be who we are.
Yes, exactly. So because the worth that what we're trying to say, the worth comes from is more about ourselves, like our character almost, our
Yeah,
personality.
absolutely.
Not so much. Obviously, our personality is linked to the things we've just mentioned, like your job or your income or whatever.
Character is the word. I really think that you can take away everything from me, but you can't take character off me.
Yes.
So, and I think people, I mean, I have this sort of influence that I have now, not because of what I possess.
Yep.
But because of who I am.
Yes. And
in
like
terms
you said,
of character.
and the things that you possess can always be taken away as well.
Yeah.
So it's risky to tie your worth, your validation to those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the risk that people also fall into is that when they link their worth to the what society thinks is valuable, it leads them on this sort of emotional roller coaster, which is I think why we see even amongst our friends as well as within our clients as well, professionally, they have these very high and low emotional up and downs based on these things. You know, when their job is good and when their job is doing well, particularly like, for example, finance is the obvious example, right? When you're doing the deals that are going well, when your stocks are trading up, you get that massive high.
Yeah.
And then when things are down, there's a big dip.
Yeah.
It's, and I mean, I think a lot of barristers and lawyers would also agree with me. We feel the same way. You know, when you do a case and you get a big win in a trial, you get a bit of a high.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing low, you lose a couple of cases on the bounce, or the work is a bit slower, then you get a low. So the key is, I think, to maintain a more, don't get too high and don't get too low. Well, firstly, don't link yourself to these metrics.
I would definitely recommend everyone to join my life philosophy course, but it's not something that I can teach in the spate of time that we have here. But I want to go back to an interesting social observation of mine, to a topic that I discussed quite early on in my SG couple podcast with my girlfriend. I call it middle class syndrome.
Oh yes, I think
people like us can really see it because we had been to the sort of posh public schools in the UK. People in the upper echelons of UK society, tend not to have such issues. I think they're sort of above it.
Yes.
I think they know, because the UK class system is so fixed.
Yep.
People who are sort of upper middle and upper class tend to know that it's not about how much money you have.
Yep.
What sort of profession you're in.
Yes.
Very few of them, for example, would be doctors or lawyers.
Yes.
A lot of them are just, nobody's really professionally.
Yes.
And they're not even that rich.
No, a lot of them are not.
A lot of them aren't.
No, not the way that people would think they are, externally looking at them.
Money is old in the sense that a lot of it is inherited.
And it's safe, kind of.
But they're not exactly making a lot.
No.
On a daily basis.
And they don't really live extravagant lives either.
No. What they use, the sort of area they live in is all, rural and down to earth and second hand. They love second hand. They love old stuff.
Yes.
They don't necessarily like things fancy.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
But they're so secure in terms of who they are.
Yes.
But that's to do with the social system.
Yep.
Really.
Yeah.
In Hong Kong, for all its sort of history and stuff, we are, in my opinion, a very new world place. We're not an ancient place with a very long history. At all.
No.
Less than 200
Less than
years.
200 years,
right?
For sure.
When we have experienced regime changes, political changes, social changes.
Yep.
Huge
Geographical changes, massive as well.
Yeah. And it's natural in a way that we don't have this sort of established social class system.
Yeah.
But we don't need to worry about that. What we need to really think about is to strike this balance between external and internal.
Yeah. One other part of the internal sort of struggle is about being a people pleaser. I'm not sure if you've come across this in your sort of consultancy
Loads.
sort of work. But I mean, I've had friends who sort of talk about this with me sometimes, but I didn't realize until I sort of looked into it for this podcast that actually being a people pleaser, sort of perhaps for our audience who might not, who might know the term differently, being a people pleaser, as you would know, just when you do things to please others, and you express opinions or fall into sort of societal, you conform to views of your friends or society to avoid conflict. And some people do it because of a lack of confidence, and some people do it because they don't know to think better. But the former one is how it feeds into this external internal, which I didn't realize before.
Right.
So basically, people do it not because they actually agree with the views, but because they're conflict avoidance. And they do it so that they don't express a different opinion. And by not expressing a different opinion, they're getting validation. So that's all I thought was a little bit of an interesting take on this.
Yeah, but it's also an Oriental thing. It's a culture thing.
Yeah, that's true. Being a people pleaser.
I don't think there's as big an issue in the West.
No.
Because people tend to
actually, you're
view
right.
conflicts in a healthy sense.
Yes, look at the way, for example, Americans, they say their view all the time.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Although I think that the Americans, they're weird. I mean, they group think a lot.
Yes.
So they tend to fall into different culture value groups.
Yes, that's also true.
Pigeonhole themselves, basically.
Yeah.
That's not critical thinking.
No.
The Brits are slightly better.
Yes.
Because they're more cynical.
Yes.
The
Brits might do the people pleasing thing, but they would not do it because they're afraid to express their opinion.
Yeah.
They'll do it because they might think it's not worth their time to discuss or something. It'll be the cynical approach to people pleasing.
In a way, I do find the Brits cooler. But the Brits, in my opinion, are quite healthy. They do have this sort of debating culture.
Yes.
Parliamentary system.
Public school.
They like that sort of stuff. It's also a sort of culture thing, but you would find less of a people-pleasing culture problem.
Yes, that's true. It is a bit of an Asian sort of society thing.
It is.
Respecting your elders. Respecting the working environment that you're in, the family situation, all those sort of aspects.
Not just Chinese, but
No,
Asian.
yes, and I agree. Yeah, definitely not just Chinese.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I was taught to be, sort of rebellious and argumentative.
Yes.
Because of our professional background.
As well, for sure.
I
taught to be argumentative.
You just don't accept. It's not okay to just accept. So it's a culture thing. I mean, my advice would be to be comfortable with debates and arguments, and to see it as a healthy way of communication.
Yes, and actually, through disagreement, it doesn't have to be a conflict, but through expressing different opinions, whether it's at work or with your family or with your loved ones or your friends or whoever, you will get to know the other person better.
Yeah,
because you'll get another viewpoint.
Yeah, I think many clients that I come across see arguments as disapproval and disrespect. That's not true.
No, I agree.
That's not true.
They think immediately if you disagree, it's a bad thing. There's a conflict.
I actually think that if you respect someone, to argue with him rationally,
yes,
is a form of respect.
It's actually a form of respect. I agree with you.
Right? Because you bother.
You bother, exactly. I had a conversation with a friend recently about this as well, and they said actually they used to not talk to their friends about lots of things because they just, partly it was a people-pleasing thing, I think. But actually they said it's because they couldn't be bothered a lot of the time. And I said, I made the exact point that you said. I said, actually, if you respected them as a friend, you actually should be telling them the truth. Even if it means there's going to be a little bit of a disagreement.
But then I think their issue is that through arguments, they tend to really want the other side to agree. Really want to change or be able to persuade the other side.
That's actually true.
That they're right.
Yes.
I don't think that's the point.
No, it's not. But you're right. Actually, this is a very subtle
Yeah.
difference. So you're right. When people, I'm not sure if it's a societal thing or upbringing thing. You're right. It seems that a lot of people here, when they express an opinion, it's for the purpose of making the other side see their viewpoint
Yeah.
and agree with them.
Yeah.
Whilst I think what we're talking about, it's more of an exchange of ideas.
Yeah.
Like a cultural exchange.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I do it this way, and then you say, but I do it X, Y, and Z, and you say I do it A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And I say this because I now want to know why you do it as A, B, C instead of X, Y, Z.
Yeah. So it's just understanding.
It's just understanding. Exactly.
But for me, it's more like understanding without having to change you.
Yep.
I don't need to change you.
No, I don't need to change you, and I don't need you to change me.
No.
But if through the exchange of ideas, we both take away something that we think is beneficial and then we change, that's a good outcome.
Yeah.
That's just a byproduct of the exchange.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the end goal.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's like if me and you, based on our personalities, we had a debate about, I don't know, what our favorite meat is, for example, and you said your favorite meat is beef, and I said my favorite meat is chicken, for example. I'm thinking off the top of my head here. And then we had a debate about it. I think I would say, okay, I like chicken because it's leaner than beef.
Yeah.
And then you might say you like beef because the taste is richer or something like that. And then if I wanted to tell you more about it, it wouldn't be because I want you to eat chicken. And you wouldn't say it because you want me to eat beef.
Exactly.
We would just be sharing views.
Yeah.
And then, but if it so happened that the next time I got to eat and I ordered beef and you ordered chicken, like that's just a thing that happened because of our exchange. It's not the goal of why we had the conversation.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. A good example for me is that I often tell people how much I love my Italian cars.
Yep. Yeah.
Which are famous for their unreliability.
Yes.
And they break down so often, generally not very economically efficient, in my opinion. But I always argue for them, with my girlfriend, for example, without trying to force her to buy an Italian car herself.
Yep.
She's perfectly entitled to love a Mercedes, and I don't want a Mercedes, but I love my cars, and I argue not for the purpose of converting her, just to make her understand my attitude, my thinking.
Yes.
I very much actually appreciate Hiromi for being different from me.
Yeah.
I would debate and argue with her on various things in life without wanting her to become more like me.
Yes.
I just want her to understand where I'm coming from.
Yep, exactly.
That's the whole point.
And I think even if you have a discussion with somebody about something and they understand where you're coming from, and then you almost agree to disagree. This is a common sort of British phrase, right? Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I love it.
It's very valid.
I love it.
People can agree to disagree all the time.
Yeah, one of my favorite books, Watching the English, which really taught me about cultures. The point that Kate Fox, the author, said about male banter is that the British male tend to argue with each other without wanting to reach an agreement.
It's almost arguing for the sake of arguing.
That's the sort of social exchange.
Yes.
The argument itself is actually a sort of social approval of each other.
Yes.
It's two people understanding the game.
Yep.
I'm not arguing for social or cultural superiority.
No.
But I'm saying that it is healthy.
It definitely is healthy.
That rather than being a people pleaser, you treat this as a sort of social approval.
Yes.
Or displaying social approval. By healthily, rationally debating with the other.
Yeah.
Not trying to convince.
No, not trying to convince, exactly. And when it happens in the way that we're talking about, where you're just exchanging ideas, learning more about each other's viewpoints, neither side then also walks away feeling that their worth is being criticized. Because if I disagreed with you, you wouldn't take it as, oh, he's criticized my viewpoint, my worth is less. And I don't think of it badly either as, oh, he disagreed with me. We just think of it as, oh, we've discussed something. That's a good thing. And because I didn't force myself to agree with you, sort of like I sort of held my ground, as it were, I've also added to my own esteem. So it's a positive
I think
thing.
that two people usually end up proving themselves even more.
Yeah. And you walk away with respect for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
That's
the way to go.
Yeah. That's actually, for a lot of the people who are watching who are struggling with the people pleaser thing, they can try this actually. Just trying to talk to people about different things and express your opinions.
It's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I think so.
Yeah. Cool.
I think that's a good place. Do you have any final tips on how to balance the need for external validation with internal validation?
No, not really. I really want to go back to watching World Cup because it's we don't really pre-record things. We just do it as a live conversation and then upload it for everyone.
It's really, and that's why I think our conversations are always so genuine.
Yeah,
because we really just speak our mind, exchange ideas, agree and disagree,
debate.
Yeah,
being spontaneous.
Yeah. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed the episode
on this bombshell. Yeah. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.